What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes here, back with another video. First off, Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first video of the new year, and as the title says, this is going to be my top 10 underrated figures of 2021, and I'm sure you guys already know what that means, but I'll go ahead and explain anyway. Basically, these are just going to be figures that I feel like a lot of people passed on that I think were actually really good figures, and I just wish I could see more of them on other people's timelines just to see what other creators might do with them. But anyway, once again, who knows how long this video is going to be, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time in the introduction. Let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with number 10. Now, coming in at number 10, of course, is the SH Figuarts Avengers Nick Fury. This is one I feel like only me and D Amazing picked up. I don't think I've seen this figure anywhere else, and it kind of sucks because it's such a good figure. I know from what I've seen, the Avengers figures kind of sell like hotcakes. Most of the SH Figuarts Avengers, there's one or two more that I'm going to have in this video, but we'll get to those when we get to them. But for the most part, I've seen that they sell, and I would think that this guy would be an easy buy. Not only because it's Nick Fury, but also because of the fact that it's Samuel Jackson. Like, for nothing else, I feel like that would have sold this figure. I think it looks really good. It poses very well, and adding it to your collection will just make your Avengers shots pop even more. Or it'll just look good on your shelf if you're one for displaying. But either way, this is a figure I highly recommend. I don't think he's too expensive. I want to say he runs roughly 60, 70 bucks at the most, and by now he should be out everywhere. So go get your hands on this guy. It's Samuel Jackson, for crying out loud. Sticking to the Avengers, coming in at number 9 is the SH Figuarts Guardians of the Galaxy Gamora. Now, I will be the first to say I am not the biggest fan of Gamora when it comes to the comics, but I absolutely love her in the MCU. Perhaps it has a lot to do with the character design. Perhaps it has a lot to do with the actress. Maybe I just really enjoyed seeing her on screen. I really cannot say. But I love the design of her. I really love the reds in her hair, the blacks, the grays, the belts, all the straps and everything. Just her character design in the MCU. I love it. All the rings and things, the line work on her face. She's just a very dope character. And I feel like more people should have jumped on this figure, especially if you have Quill, if you have Raccoon, if you have Groot. Why would you not add Gamora to the collection? Now, I know she is a web exclusive, meaning that normally she will go for more than the average release, but I don't think that she does because of the fact that not too many people got their hands on her. I want to say you can get this figure for maybe 70, 80 bucks. A little bit pricey, but I think she comes with all the accessories to make it worth it. She comes with her sword, she comes with a gun, she comes with the balancing blade that Thanos gave her, and a couple of hands and extra faces. So I definitely think it's worth it. And like I said, if you have the others in your collection, she's going to look great next to them. I'm really hoping that in the future we do get my boy Batista as Drax. That would be absolutely amazing. Then from that point, I think we will be almost complete with the Avengers because we've already gotten, or the Guardians of the Galaxy, because we've already gotten Nebula. So go get your hands on this figure. She looks great, she poses great, and she's just a blast. Moving on down to number 8, I had to throw this figure in this video because this is one that I love so much. It really does bother me that I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on it. I said it in my review and I'll say it again. I feel like this is easily, and I mean easily, the number 1 6-inch scale comic Joker. I feel like the only one that can even compete with this is the SH Figuarts version that they released from Injustice Part 1. I know, a lot of people like the Revoltech version. I'll say yes, it does come with some really great accessories, but personally, I do not care for the aesthetics of that figure. I don't like the whole blocky, chunky look, and so that figure just didn't work for me. Yes, he can get in every kind of pose that the Joker can get into and more, but I just don't care for the look of it. This one has the looks. This one also has the articulation. Only limitations I would say this figure has is in the elbow, but if you know how to pose him right, it's almost something that isn't even noticeable. So this guy, I feel like, is one any Batman fan needs to add to their collection, especially if you're already collecting the Batman Hush line. You cannot have Batman without a Joker. Some people say they don't like the look, but this is one I would say in hand just looks so much better than what the promo images could offer. Because I remember when this went up for pre-order, I just ordered it just because it's Joker, and I wasn't really looking forward to it all that much. But after getting this guy in hand, posing him around, I had so much fun with this figure. And if you haven't checked out my review, feel free to go check it out. I really enjoy taking shots of this guy, and I feel like anyone that gets their hands on this will enjoy it just as much as I do. Keeping it in the Batman theme, moving on down to number 7, we have the Mafex Batman New Adventures Batman action figure. And this one is one on the list that bugs me the most. I know it's not Batman the Animated Series. It's not that Batman. But this right here is, we still watched it. Let's not act like we didn't watch this show. I know some people didn't care for the art style when it came to certain characters or the character designs. But overall, if you watched Batman the Animated Series, you watched the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. You cannot tell me that you didn't. If you do say that, it's cap. I know it is. You watched it. And it was just as good. The storyline continued to move forward, and it was just as enjoyable. Certain episodes were even more enjoyable than the original series. So I just feel like this is one that a lot of people I thought would have naturally added to their collection just because of the fact that it is that classic Batman that we all enjoyed growing up. And I know the DC Collectibles is out. That thing's probably not cheap now. And this one right here runs about $90, but you do get the accessories with it. You get a couple of batarangs, a couple of hands. You get 2 separate capes. You also get a Bruce Wayne head. In terms of accessories, you're not going to get a better Batman from this version than this. You're just not. And then on top of that, it poses well also. If you haven't seen my review, once again, go check it out. This is a very enjoyable figure. And honestly, it could have made my top 10 of this year. The only problem was that it was just way too many other figures that I enjoyed more. And I'm not talking a lot more, just a little bit. But yes, this guy could have made my top 10 of 2021. And maybe if you get your hands on him, you might be thinking about throwing him on the list. So check it out. This figure is worth having in your collection. Now, switching back to the Marvel side of things, here we are with the next figure. We have the Mafex or Medicom Toys Spider-Man Far From Home, Night Monkey, or Stealth Suit, whichever one you want to call it. Now, this one baffles me because I was sure that a lot of people were going to buy this figure, mostly because it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man usually sells. I know some people can say they were happy with the Marvel Legends. Some people might have been happy with the Mezco. I don't know too many people that were happy with the SH Figuarts. That being said, though, I never see any of those on anyone's timeline either, mostly because I feel like people realize that a lot of them were problematics. The Legend wasn't bad. I had the Legend. I will say that the main issue I had with that figure was it just didn't capture this costume as much as I wanted it to. This guy right here has all the texturing of the costume, the detail, the line work. The paint is very simple. It's almost one flat black, but that's exactly how the costume looked in the movie. It didn't have a shine to it like the Legends. Now, in terms of the SH Figuarts, I know some people thought that one looked good, but the arm issue was the main reason a lot of people weren't happy with it, and a lot of them were breaking, so I can't blame them on that one. Then of course you had the Mezco, which looked decent. I had that one as well. I didn't keep it for long, mostly because I didn't enjoy it, but this guy right here is just absolute perfection. You get several different head sculpts, 2 different Tom Holland head sculpts, one even where he has on the Tony Stark glasses. This thing is just an overall great figure, and I feel like any Spider-Man fan needs to have this in their collection, especially if you are already a big fan of the Home series, which just wrapped up, by the way. This is one you have to have. I love this costume. I love this figure. Mafex absolutely killed it. Go get your hands on this guy. Moving on down to number 5. This is a figure I had to add to this list because this is one I know a lot of people slept on. I know a lot of people slept on, but at the same time, a lot of people slept on even the Marvel Legends ShangChi Wave. I think until the movie released, people just weren't really, I don't know, they just didn't want to pick these up. But this figure here, man, if I was ranking these based on favoritism or which ones I liked more, this guy would probably be closer to that #1 spot because this thing is just so good. Literally the only issue I have with this figure is the shine on the face and then maybe the height. He's a little bit too small, and SH Figuarts is known for having scaling problems sometimes. But other than that, man, the moment I took this figure out of the package, I knew I loved it. Before I started reviewing it or anything, I just knew I loved it. I love the feel of this figure, the look of this figure. The freaking articulation is just beyond incredible. And I love the movie, so it just made me love this figure so much more. And it's not even a web exclusive. He's fairly cheap. I think you can get this guy for 50 to 60 bucks. And Simu Lee is just, he was great in this role. And I love the fact that Tamashii Nations gave us this figure. I love the fact that we're also going to be getting his father in the future. That's another one I'm looking forward to adding to my collection. But guys, this figure is just wonderful. If you're happy with the Legends, that's awesome. I had the Legends. It just didn't pose the way that I wanted it to. I kind of had my frustrations with it. But with this guy, I have no problems. I can literally get this thing into any pose that I want to get it into, and at the same time while I'm posing it, I am really enjoying it. This is one you really just have to have in hand to understand how great it is. So guys, if you've even thought about picking up this figure, don't sleep on it any longer. When the income taxes come in or whatever, get your hands on it because I swear he's worth it. Coming in at number 4 is the Mafex or Medicom Toy Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, whichever you know her as, that is up to you. Now this is a figure that I don't even know how to explain how good this figure is. I was really worried when this shipped out because Mafex just scares me when it comes to smaller, thinner figures because I do think about how they used to have so many quality control issues, and then for them to suddenly switch to smaller figures with smaller joints, it just worried me. But this figure could not have turned out any better than it did. This figure is honestly a 10 out of 10. She comes with all the right head sculpts. The articulation is perfect. Nothing about it feels fragile. It feels durable. You get Spider-Ham, who also comes with several different accessories as well. This is just an all-around great release, and I feel like I don't see enough of it, especially considering how many people say that they love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And you can throw this in with your Sentinel Miles, or you can throw it in with the Mafex Miles. It's going to look good either way. You can throw it in with your Mafex Peter B. Parker, or probably even the Sentinel that's about to be releasing. I actually think that just released in Japan, so we'll be getting that one soon and I'll be reviewing it. But back to this figure, this is one that's just great. I know the Marvel Legends came out. I wasn't feeling that body. It felt like it was a little too big, especially considering the fact that she's only 14 in the movie. Mafex killed these proportions. They killed this figure, and they just took that character design and did it right. So if you are thinking about getting this figure, even Wade can tell you, don't sleep on it, because he told me how good this figure was just before I opened it up. Now finally moving on to number 3, we've got some anime characters. You guys already know it's not an animated heroes video if there isn't some kind of discussion of anime or an anime reference in it. But here we have the Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Good Smile Company Figma, Tanjiro and Nezuko. Now I will be the first to say that yes, these figures did have a couple of problems, but overall, they're still very, very enjoyable. And it still baffles me the fact that these are pretty much available almost anywhere that you look for a decent price. I was expecting these things to shoot up in price the moment that they release, because anyone that knows anything about Demon Slayer knows that Demon Slayer, just merch in general, anything that has to do with Demon Slayer will sell like turkey legs at the fair. So I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I don't really see these on people's timelines, and I see that they're still available almost anywhere that you look. Koyoharu completely redesigned anime entirely with the release of Demon Slayer, and if you have seen Mugen Train or you even know anything about it, then you already know what I'm talking about. So it just is a shocker to me pretty much that these figures aren't in all of my anime people's collections at least. Guys, if you're thinking about these, go pick them up. They're definitely worth it. There's a whole lot of fun to be had with these guys. And I did put both of them on here because they released about a month apart from each other. And you can't have Tanjiro without Nezuko. It just doesn't work like that. So that's why both of these came in at number 3. So if you're thinking about getting your hands on them, go pick them up. You won't regret it. Now moving on down to number 2. There was no way that I wasn't going to include this in this video. Simply because this is an SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Kid era Gohan. This is a figure that I know a lot of people were asking for years ago. A lot of people were asking for this. Now technically, this figure came out in 2020. But due to a bunch of shipment issues and things like that, if you live in America and you order from P Bandai, you already know what I'm talking about. A lot of us didn't get it until, I think, like January, February, March of 2021. I don't know. If you know, then you know. But this is one that I can't believe I don't see on timelines, considering how many people asked for this. Especially considering the fact that this is a 2-arc in 1 Gohan. Not only is this the Saiyan arc, but it's the beginning of the Namek saga. So it confuses me when I don't see this on people's timelines. This figure is absolutely awesome, man. You get the long hair Gohan, the short hair Gohan, all of those Dragon Ball Z classic expressions from Akira Toriyama's old artwork. I'm not talking about his new stuff that came right around the Cell Saga. You get his old art style with the facial expressions, which makes this figure pop even more and look beautiful in shots. And then on top of that, you get a Dragon Ball with it. So this figure was totally worth it. If you can get your hands on him, I highly recommend it. I think that this guy has shot up in price because of the fact that he was a web exclusive, but I want to see more of this guy. Come on, guys, show me your shots. And if you don't have him, add him to your collection, because if you collect Dragon Ball figures, you can't go without a Kid Gohan. He was far too pivotal to the story. Now coming in at number 1 is a figure that I'm sure you guys weren't expecting, but it had to be added to the list because One Shot Toys absolutely killed it with this Yu Yu Hakusho Yusuke Yura. Everything about this figure is perfect, and if I was rating it based on enjoyment, it would still be number 1 because of the fact that everything is perfect. The soft goods, the articulation, the accessories, the head sculpts, the art style, the capturing of the character. They literally just did it all. And I'm really looking forward to Kurama and Kuwabara just because of how good this figure turned out. I know they've been delayed quite a bit. That's probably due to what's going on with the world, but I'm hoping that those figures can come out soon because I'm really looking forward to adding both of them to my collection just to complement this guy, because I am really going to be looking forward to completing the Spirit team. And man, this guy right here is one I still can't believe that I don't see on people's timelines because of the fact that you guys don't know this. I got the first sample of this figure and I reviewed it. And once I did that, this thing sold out everywhere. To the point I wasn't even able to get an original. This is the sample that I was supposed to have to send back to my supplier. But because of the fact that it just absolutely started selling out everywhere, they told me keep it because otherwise I probably wasn't going to be able to get my hands on it. So this is a figure that just, it shocks me that, I don't know, maybe there just wasn't a whole lot of these made. That's the only thing I can think of because I know for a fact a lot of people bought this figure and I just want to see more of it. So yes, number 1 is easily the One Shot Toys Yu Yu Hakusho Yusuke Yura. He had to be at the top of the list. So here we have it, my top 10 most underrated figures of 2021. And I feel like I explained exactly why I feel like all these figures are underrated very well. If you guys have one you feel like I should have added to the list, go ahead and comment down below because I really want to know you guys' thoughts as well in terms of figures you feel like maybe didn't get enough love in 2021. Now that being said, this is only a video showcasing appreciation for these figures. It's not really me telling you to go out and buy them. Unless you're thinking about it, then yes, definitely go pick them up. But 2021 was filled with so many figures. it was almost impossible to sit down and enjoy one, especially when it comes to Mafex, because as we all know, normally they don't release one figure at a time that we can enjoy. They'll normally release 2 or 3. And so you get one, you want to open it and enjoy it, but then you've got the other one that you want to open and enjoy, so on and so forth. And it just happens every single month, something coming out and taking away your enjoyment from something else. And it sucks because I really want to take a lot of shots of this Shang-Chi. I really want to take a lot of shots of these Tanjiro and Nezuko, but then of course I've got the Buzz mods. And so you guys get where I'm going with it. But basically, like I said, this video is just to show appreciation to these figures. These are all very great figures in my opinion. And I feel like if any of you have thought about picking these up, I would highly recommend it. So don't sleep on these. Even though you've probably got a million other toys that you're enjoying, make it 1,000,001 because these figures all need the love. That being said, that is my video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up because that always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. Lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you had a great start to your new year. Stay safe, everybody, and bye.